I'd like to wish everybody a great afternoon in terms of welcoming to what is our October Construction Sector Jobs Club that we've established. There'll be a mixed audience of people who are actively looking for work, some employers and some referral partner stakeholders that are on this session. The purpose of running the West Midlands Jobs Club at this moment for the construction sector is, from the Combined Authority, West Midlands Combined Authority, we're seeing a fantastic opportunity with roles that exist in the construction sector for residents and population of our region to equip themselves with. But at the same time, we need to make sure that all of our residents have the right skills to be able to move into these jobs, at the same time as the right level of information to understand how about accessing both the training and the jobs that are existing from today. This will be a monthly event that takes place every Thursday afternoon of the first week of the month. It will invite a number of different people to it on occasions. We want to access as many local people looking for work as possible, so that's great to see a number of people that are looking for work positions in the region joining us today, as well as stakeholder partners and as well as recruiting employers, the key ones, the ones that we all are interested in from today. So without further ado, I think it's a good opportunity where I can invite our colleagues from DUSI, who are very much part of our regional improvement, both for infrastructure and utility support, as well as working on some really exciting projects in the region with some really exciting jobs. So at this point, can I move over to Kirsty and to Dave to just probably tell us a little bit more about what you're working on in the region so everybody's aware, and at the same time what opportunities you're looking to fill, and then how people may go about that in terms of connecting with you as a recruiting organisation. So over to you folks, thanks.
Okay, well, thank you and welcome everybody, and thank you for inviting us to the first Jobs Club. It's quite a privilege to be here with you. For many of you who don't know who DUSI Group is, we're a family-run business that's been going for nearly 40 years now, predominantly started in civil engineering, but as you can see from the first slide, we have 9 different companies now, and we recruit in construction across all of the areas. We like to be a one-stop shop for our clients. So we're predominantly focusing our vacancies today that we have in connection to the Sprint Bus opportunity and the contract that we have won with WMCA, so that you can understand how the partnership and the direct links work. Obviously, we're working with RMF and how we transition people who are not experienced and who are trainees and new to the construction industry, and how people can access jobs into us here. So I'm going to pass over to my colleague Dave Hannibal, who's going to tell you about which part of the WMCA Sprint Bus project we're working on and the new recruitment drive that we have for fulfilling that contract and the numbers that we need on there. And then I'll talk a little bit about how we are looking to encourage trainees, youngsters, women into construction, and just non-traditional methods into the recruitment that we have. So over to you, Dave. Dave there?
I think Dave needs to unmute.
Yeah, I'm not used to being quiet, that's the problem. So yeah, thanks for the invite. We have a strategy at the moment with West Midlands Combined Authority, or Transport West Midlands, that we carry out a multi-utility diversion stroke enabling works for the main works. So because we've been working on that now for 18 months, that work stream for what, 18 months. That's now developed into some of the civils work, which we've got a section of work, Sowley Hall, where we've been employed to build some bus stops. So the bus stops on that route and some minor curb realignment and minor sort of restructure of the carriageway, and then hopefully that turns into more as the venture progresses for the Sprint Bus. We're currently looking at, we've currently got from 15 number workforce on the contract at the moment. But with those 15, we're looking to encourage new starters, new people, and although the guys can sometimes come completely trained, we assess competencies before the sort of so that they usually end up as a member of a team rather than a team leader, and then we hope to progress them into the team leader as time progresses. We know the local authorities and the government-led projects are very support this sort of activity quite well and they encourage it. So and we want to encourage it too, basically.
Thanks for that, Dave.
So the vacancies that we have specifically on the Sprint Budge project to increase that team from 15 is obviously the experienced and trainee multi-utility general operatives. So obviously digging and excavating the holes and with the utilities that are in there. And as Dave said, if there are people who've got expired construction tickets, we could work with you to renew those and get you back into work if you've previously been in construction but been out a few years and want to get back into it. If you've never done construction or anything like civil engineering or groundworks before in your life, that's not a problem either. This is just a slide to kind of give you the indication of what are called the qualifications, the skills or the tickets that you are required to be able to perform this work for us. So we've got the multi-utility side, we've got main and service layers on service main layers on gas, electric and water. So although the multi-utility side is very much Dave's project linked to the Sprint bus, we have got work, we have really big stakeholders like Western Power Distribution, South Staffordshire Water. We are working on projects such as HS2, projects to do with the Commonwealth Games. So we have a lot of work out there and we win contracts regularly. We won 5 last week and we need to be able to staff these. It's very hard to find experienced construction workers in the industry, and we know we need new blood and new people. So if you're practically minded, if you don't mind working outdoors, and unfortunately it's not always sunshiny and you don't always get a suntan, it can be rainy, it can be cold, but if you're somebody who would rather be outdoors than cooped up or stuck inside, it's definitely a career in an industry for you. Reinstatement operatives are where you do the curbing and the footways and the pathways. So after the main work's been done, make sure that it looks exactly shiny, brand new as it did before we arrived. So we have a lot of work that we need doing on that side as well. Again, that's probably the least one where you need the least amount of qualifications. So that might be appealing in terms of tickets, but we support you all through that. We have a whole training team, a whole training division. They put you on the courses, you're supported with it, and we work with you from there. A new area that we've got is our water chlorination testers. We're looking for 2 people to start on that, so to add to the existing team, but we've not really run it as trainees before, so this is a new scheme. So obviously anything you would do with the water side, because you're touching the pipes and everything else, we have to make sure that there's no contamination and that there's pure and crystal water as the clients require. So again, that's another area that we're recruiting for. We're keen to try and get youngsters into it, so into civil engineering. There seems to be a bit of a gap for us where maybe people just tend to fall into construction later on, not straight from college or not straight from school. So we're looking at programs and apprenticeships that will encourage people to come on board that way. We're looking at women in construction, again, because it tends to be not traditional for women to do that, but we have vacancies and they are more than welcome and able to do a lot of the work that we do with the right training and the right support. So very much we are looking forward to hearing from you. You can apply via our website. I know that there'll be links obviously with the WMCA programme as well. We are working and partnering with RMF, and we have taken on a cohort recently from them. So that has worked really well in partnership with RMF to bring people into our industry. So hopefully, Sean, that's given everybody an overview of who we are, what we're looking for, and hopefully lots of applicants. We'd love to see that. We'd love to welcome you to the Ducey team.
No, appreciate that, Kirsty. I think this is something that we want to make more relevant. It's sometimes a little bit daunting for candidates to try and apply for jobs when they don't really know the company and they don't really understand the people that are recruiting at the other end. So your ability to make that real for people, both from today's webinar and then when we post out the messages from today, that employers really exist, jobs really exist, the detail of what those jobs look like are a little bit more clearer today. I think the bit for me that sometimes I just assume everybody knows what the sprint bus route is and where it is. So just give people on the call a bit more relevance. It's the new bendy bus that will move people through Perry Bar into Birmingham, that will initially support the Commonwealth Games and all the sport and activity that runs around that. But equally longer term, it will support the people moving from outside of Birmingham into town and reverse in a much more easily and accessible route. It will prevent people from driving their car at the same time as well, because we want to influence people to move on to public transport, because that's where we want the region to operate. So no, Kirsty and Dave, I think that's fantastic. I think the insight is really good. And hopefully for viewers on today's call, you'll find out more at the end of this session about how you'd progress that opportunity in terms of applying for those positions. So no, thanks for that. And not just one employer, folks. We don't just do it in ones. This is the second city, but actually today we bring two employers, two for the price of one today. So now it is my pleasure to invite Donna to just speak to us all to promote more opportunities that exist in the construction sector in the region. So over to you, Donna.
Thanks, Sean, and thank you again for the invitation to the event. I think especially at the moment there is such a shortage of construction workers and workers in general across the UK, and the West Midlands for us is a real focus area. So we are the Danny Sullivan Group, again a family business. We've been operating in the UK since 1986, and the founder of our company is still very active, although we treat him now as a bit of a mascot, bless him. But we are a labour provider to the construction industry, heavily focused on civils, infrastructure and rail. We're working with a lot of companies and a lot of initiatives such as the ex-military, ex-offenders, Kickstart, Women into Construction, apprenticeships. We're really keen to tap into those lesser known areas, I think, of employment. So for the West Midlands side of things, we in the next 3 months will have over 250 vacancies, which is absolutely crazy. So we're hoping that some people on this call will think, oh yeah, maybe I could get involved with that. Some of our positions would require people to have those skills and that experience, but as Kirsty said, we too as a company are very heavily invested in training, development, upskilling. So people that come into us as whether it be a general operative or as an admin level office position, they are very quickly, if they show the right initiative, progressed into other areas of the business. So for us, it's just not about getting somebody in and then putting them out to work and forgetting about them. We really do invest heavily in that development and that progression for our staff. We have got people that have worked for us for over 30 years, which is absolutely crazy. We have a lot of the guys out on site that have just moved around with us throughout the country over lots of different roles. So although we do cover the whole of the UK, as I said, the West Midlands for us is a huge area. I mean, in the Lichfield area alone, we've just been awarded over 200 vacancies. So the same as Kirsty said, you can join or register via our website, and I'll put those details in the chat for you. But if you wanted to contact me directly, I'll also put my email address on there for people that wanted to get in contact with me direct or to have conversations and explore those opportunities. So I look forward to working with you all and hopefully see you all again.
Donna, I think that's fantastic to hear about the volume of opportunities and equally the breadth of opportunities across the whole region. We cover everything from Wolverhampton down to Rugby. That's a huge area in terms of geography. So to being able to access these roles that exist on the various projects that are run across the region and the breadth equally, it's good to hear that you're interested in taking people from all backgrounds and all experience levels. And when I look at the list of jobs there that people could be interested in, I'm sure there'll be people on the call today that'll be actively interested in applying for some of the positions, if not all, that exist. So I think for me at this point, this is where we need to recognise that not everybody on the call or everybody in the region will hold the skills that are required for these specific jobs. So what do we do about that? We need to bring forward training opportunities for individuals to make sure we can fill those gaps that employers are looking for to get into these roles, because we want to make sure that everybody has employment that's seeking it. So at this point, I come over to one of our training framework partners leading the way in terms of this, RMF Group and Dora. Dora, I think that you come at this ideal opportunity where people are really interested in terms of, right, how do I get those skills? How do I get those tickets that have been talked about today if I don't hold them because I actively want to move into employment? So please tell us more.
Perfect, Sean. Much appreciated. Thanks everybody for coming on to talk. You know, what an exciting time where we can sit here and talk about a job, but also talk about how we can get that job, rather than sitting here wondering there's no opportunities, I don't have the skill set. We're in a very, very exciting time within the West Midlands, because not only do we have a large amount of funding being provided by the West Midlands Combined Authority to support the training offer, but also we have huge companies such as Sullivan's and Ducey's coming on and giving us the opportunity. For us, we're in a very privileged situation to be working alongside the West Midlands Combined Authority. What we have set up is our CPCS training centre, which also does groundworks and CSCS. So looking at the positions that are available, we will be able to provide the training. They will be able to log on to our Fresh Start website, which is www.RMF Fresh Start, which will send out the links. But we also have our employment advisors. So our employment advisors will be there to support you and guide you and give you the information then of what is needed to secure the training and the step-by-step guide. What I'd say to people is it's exciting. This is the first time that we have, this is Job Club number 1. For people who don't have the skill sets yet, don't panic, because what we will be doing is moving forward on a monthly basis with the Job Club. And I can assure you now, Sullivan's and Ducey's have between them maybe 350 jobs. They'll still be there in 6-8 week times, and they'll probably increase by them. So on the screen we can see, and this can be sent out to everybody, we've got our 2 leading advisors who will be able to support you and give you the information from RMF training, and we'll get that all sent out to you. Now with ourselves, we have our next slides, which will discuss our RMF Fresh Start. So our RMF Fresh Start portal is what I find pulls this all together. So it comes from it in 2 angles. So we'll send these out to everybody who's logged on as well today. It's www.rmffreshstart.co.uk. What this is going to allow you to do is view the courses that are coming up and view the opportunities. So it comes from 2 angles, and the one we see here is from the employers. So we're delighted that the employers today have already sent over their positions that will be uploaded onto the RMF Fresh Start website, and that gives access to anybody who comes through one of the training partners within the West Midlands Combined Authority to apply for the jobs. This can't happen unless we have employment opportunities. Everything we want to do from now on wants to be led with employment, and we don't train for the sake of training. But what we will do from employers' point of view, we will tailor our training packages to ensure that we are bringing them to the standard and to the skill set that they need. So we would be encouraging all employers who may be just listening today or so forth to contact us to discuss how we get them opportunities put on. As Ducey's and Sullivan said, they also have their own means of how you apply for the jobs. That's fine. That will be listed in the job advertisement to ensure. So for us as a company, from a training point of view and a West Midlands Combined Partnership point of view, this is just really to increase the amount of jobs and success that we get for candidates who come through a training program. On the next slide, we have the candidates. If we have that one there. For me, this is the most important. Anybody can get trained, everybody turns up and perfect, but you need to know what your next steps are. Your next steps will be of making the application for the job. You will also be able to make an application for a training course, and any other information that you may will be held on this side. So what we would be encouraging the candidates to do, not only log on to the Ducey's and the Sullivan's website, but also to be logging onto our own to ensure that they are applying for the jobs. Absolutely amazing everybody's come on today. If you're, as we spoke about, if your skill set falls short of a job you want to apply for, we will support you to get the additional training to bring you up. But this is about being job ready and making that application for the job. So all the jobs that we discussed today, and will probably take us quite a while to upload the 250 and the 50 from Ducey's alone, to get them all up on the board. But these are the jobs that we want you to apply for. So as I said, this is month 1. We're talking about 300 positions going up. There's not 300 people on the call today, so the world's your oyster when it comes to this, and it's recognizing the skill set that you have. So going back to the previous slide, our advisors are there to discuss it with you. Well, look, delighted with everybody and blown away with the amount of jobs that have been committed to the West Midlands, and for people who are coming through our training programs. It's amazing. And as Dave said earlier on, it's not about your entry level positions, it's about getting jobs that start a career path, and they will support you to progress through. So if we can open up the door to you and you can secure something, be delighted for you to come back and talk 6-8 months time when you're leading the team. Thanks, Sean.
Thank you, Dora. I think that for me, that's 3 fantastic contributions in terms of people who are looking to help and support local residents move into employment positions, and equally talk about the opportunities that exist for everyone in this region. The bit I want to try and close and wrap up the session from today around is, thankfully everybody's agreed in terms of joining today that the session would be recorded. What we want to make sure is these messages are going out across all of our job centres, our National Career Service and our referral partners across all our local authorities, so that they all hear what opportunities exist. People only know what they know in their little bubble, unfortunately, because the pandemic's allowed little bubbles to be created. What we want to do is start to burst those bubbles and make sure that everybody across the region understands what's available for everyone. These sessions, in terms of sound bites, will be used for work coach support and training as we move forward. And equally, each month that goes by, new opportunities will be promoted in terms of the advertised vacancies, and equally will showcase some of the projects, some of the other contractors that are existing in this region. I can't just be selfish and keep Danny Sullivan and Ducey Group on these every month. I'll have to share out the opportunities. But at the same time, I want you to talk to your peers, your colleagues, your clients about the opportunities that do exist and how to go about referring into those. So either from a direct recruitment and an application process to I need to do something about training myself to be able to get access into applying for those positions. So again, I'd like to thank everybody who's attended today. We don't intend to keep these sort of shows any longer than they need to be. We want the core messages to come out. I hear regularly from the young people that live in my household that, Dad, you don't need to talk too much, just get the core message out and let people move on. That's what life is. The message I want to send out is we will be back live and exclusive on the 4th of November, 3 p.m. and equally every month moving forward. We'll have some different employers coming along, although I'm sure Kirsty and Donna would be bending my ear to be able to come along next month if they haven't filled all the positions in the month. Let's see what we can do and squeeze it in. At the same time, if you want to see me live and exclusive for some of these employers, please talk to your work coach if you're currently involved with the job centre, because we'll be in Villa Park on the 2nd of November all day. There'll only be limited spaces available. Please, it would be great to see you all come along there, and I can meet and shake the hands of some individuals if I've washed them, that is. So at that point, I'd like to wrap up today, say a big thank you to everybody, and I hope everybody has a fantastic afternoon. And equally, I hope everybody's come away with something today that allows them to move forward in a positive way. I wish you all the very best of luck, and thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.